And we made this cowboy candy. This stuff is awesome. You can put it on all kinds of things from burgers and hot dogs. You can use it in some of your recipes. We're going to show you exactly how we did it, so watch. So let's jump into making this cowboy candy. So first step, make sure you glove up because you're going to be dealing with jalapenos. You don't want to touch your face, your eyes, anything like that. Just turn into a mess that way. So we're going to make a little bit of a mild cowboy candy. First step is to grab, I think I've got about 8 ounces of jalapenos, and we're just going to cut those into nice little rounds, probably 1/4 inch or so, and I'm going to push out most of the seeds in here. And the reason for that is I don't want it to be too spicy. So we're just going to go through all of these guys, slice them up, push those middles out and the seeds. We're going to leave a few seeds in. That's not a problem. I just don't want this to be overpowering. I do have a spicier batch, so I wanted to mellow this one out and use a little bit less of the seeds and the insides on that. So this is about 1/2 dozen jalapenos. These are a little bit bigger. You may want to use something a little bit smaller. And the reason for that is it makes it easier to just grab 1 or 2 and put them on whatever you're going to need. You can always chop them up before you use them too. And also for the presentation on this, I've got a couple of just small peppers, and I'm gonna chunk those up a little bit. Got a yellow one and a red one. That'll add some nice color to it. I don't need it for the heat, just really want it for the look of this. And for these, we're just gonna cut them into smaller pieces, kind of dice them up a little bit. So we got all those ready to go. Now what we need to do is to start making our liquid. So we're going to start out here with a 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar. We're going to add in 1 cup of sugar. And now we've got a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds. You can use either yellow or the black or brown mustard seeds. Then we've got some celery seeds. This is 1/4 teaspoon. And we've got a little bit of turmeric. This is just gonna give it kind of a nice little look to it. A little bit more of a honey colored look to it. And that's a 1/4 cup right there. And a little bit of kosher salt. I said a 1/4 cup. It's a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And then we've got a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. All right, so this is just gonna go on the burner here on the heat and give it a nice little stir. So really what we're doing is we're just gonna pickle these peppers. Peter Piper. Not a peck, but a couple of good handfuls. We want all the sugar to dissolve in here. Heating this up is also going to release a lot of the flavor in the celery seed and also in that mustard seeds. Keep that in motion a little bit. We don't want anything to burn on the bottom. So you can use this on hot dogs, you can use it on burgers, you can put it on your pulled pork sandwiches. Just a great little condiment whenever you're going to do a sandwich. Really kind of kicks it up. And again, you could leave all of those seeds and everything in there in the cores and it would bring up the heat. You can even add a little bit of cayenne pepper to it, some chili flakes if you really want it to be hot. So you may even want to do a couple of batches, something that's a little bit more mild, something that has a little bit more heat to it. Hey, you know, whatever suits your taste. We're just going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to put these guys in, and we want to cook them to the point where they're going to be just a little bit kind of puckered up on the skins of these. And then at that point, we're gonna pull those out of there and reduce down the liquid. Ooh, we're seeing a little bit of action around the edges, starting to see a little boil there. So it'll be pretty shortly that we'll be up to temp on these. There we are, starting to see a little boil there. So we're gonna take these, drop them all in there. Give them a good little stir. Try to get those covered as much as you can in the liquid. So we got a nice little boil going there. So really what we're aiming for here is not to get a whole ton of bubbles on here. It's starting to foam up a little bit there. I'm going to turn it down just a bit. You want to make sure and keep an eye on this because we're again looking for those kind of puckered skins on there. And you don't want this to boil away on you, so don't go far, that's for sure. Got a little bit of wind today. I noticed that when wind stops a little bit and calms down, bubbles come up because we got more of that heat coming up and hitting the pan. I get a breeze through here, automatically drops that temperature just a little bit, and the bubbles go away. So I think I'm right on that perfect edge of where I want to be. Starting to see a little bit of a pucker around the edges. Not much in the center yet, so I think we're pretty close. We're just going to give them a few more minutes, and then we're going to drain those off, transfer them in here, and then boil off some more of that liquid, just to kind of reduce it by about another third. Hey, while this is cooking down, it's a great time to remind you, if you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button. After you do that, turn on the notifications also. What that'll do is when I put out new videos, which is usually every Saturday, it'll give you a little reminder and say, hey, something new to watch from Barbecue Plus. I'd really appreciate that. It just helps me to get more visible on YouTube and helps YouTube know that this is valuable content, and they'll promote it to other folks as well. You can share this with your friends. Give me a like if you like what I'm doing here. There we go. So we can see a pretty good kind of pucker and on these. Yeah, they're getting, see, right on those edges. Yeah, right along there. That skin is puckering up really nicely. So I think that we are at the point that we can transfer these over. So I've got a slotted spoon here because we want to leave a lot of the liquid in there. Just going to move these over into the jar. I think we got pretty much all those out of there. So we're just going to continue to cook this. We want to reduce down what we've got in here by about another third, and then we're going to put that over top of these in the jar. You can see those little edges there, kind of got a nice pucker to them. They're feeling like they're nice and tender and cooked, so that's what we want. I think we are there. So we've reduced this down, and now we're just gonna maybe give it a couple of minutes to kind of mellow out a little bit, and then we're gonna pour it over the rest of this, let it all cool down, and then we're gonna store it in the refrigerator with a little cap on there and one of these little retainer rings. So there it is, we've got Cowboy candy. All we got to do now is just let it set. So what we want to do is put this in the refrigerator. Probably in about 3 or 4 weeks, this is going to be at its optimal. Right now, all the spices haven't released into there. It hasn't all kind of congealed together and kind of mellowed out. We just want it to hang out in the refrigerator for about 3 to 4 weeks. We're going to have it all covered and everything, and then we're going to give this a try. But if you want to make something great, have some Cowboy candy on hand, make it as spicy as you want, and remember, go out and cook something great in your backyard this weekend. And from Barbecue Plus, thanks for watching.